Light from a few can be a beacon to many. Welcome to Star Wars Hopecast.
Hello and welcome to the Star Wars Hopecast, a Star Wars The Old Republic podcast. I'm Vyrigan.
I'm Scya.
And I'm Lari.
And welcome to episode number 14. And it's been a little bit since our last time together. We've had some new information coming out, and there's been some interesting things happening over the summer, although it's been kind of a lull. So let's start this episode like we do every episode, with our time in game. And Scya, let's start with you.
I downmastered Blaster and Hardmode for the first time!
Woo-hoo!
It was really exciting. I have been working off and on with our Hardmode team on Master and Blaster. It was just a really rough fight for me to learn. I was having a really difficult time understanding where I needed to stand, and we'd switch roles all the time, and so the positions would change, and oh my goodness, just death and destruction everywhere. But this time, I'd learned everything well, and everyone else knew their roles, and we downed it in like 2 or 3 tries, and on to Cortani, and we got halfway through her as well, so so excited.
Nice. So how far did you end up getting thrown?
So Cortani is the last boss of Hardmode Ravagers, and we got about halfway through her fight. We got to the second stage, and then there was just too much death and destruction. A little too much.
Oh, that's cool though. That's awesome. So how long do you think it'll be before you have Master and Blaster on farm?
I'm thinking actually pretty soon, because when we did the fight before this, it was really hard, and then all of a sudden it was just easy, and we could do it in 1 or 2 shots if somebody accidentally stood in the fire, and it felt like that this time again. We don't really know what we're doing in the final stage, but it seems like our healers are good enough that they can just deal with our lack of knowledge. Apart from raiding, I've been working on the Makeb achievements because of the new decoration. Have you guys seen that yet?
Not yet.
I heard about it, but I didn't get a chance to look.
There is a few achievements that are linked to the special staged weekly quests on Makeb that you can only do once you finish the storyline. And because of the way they're changing and streamlining quests, the Makeb isn't going away or anything, but they're changing the staged weeklies more to normal weeklies. And so because of that, some of the achievements are going to go away. And they said we're taking them away in a dev post. But they also said if you get all the achievements on either the Republic or the Imperial side, the Republic side it's called Making the Connection, and Imperial side it's called Well Connected, then you get a special decoration.
So that's the encouragement to do something else in the next month so that you stay subscribed and do something with the game.
Does it say what the decoration is, or?
Yeah, I don't know if that was it. It might have just been as a sorry for taking away the achievements, but the decoration itself is called the Makeb Pagoda, and it's like, people are guessing it's one of the pretty kind of garden decorations outside on Makeb.
Oh, it's a pergola.
It's
a pergola. I love pergolas.
Not quite a pergola, because we know exactly what that word means now.
I know what a pergola is. I'm excited.
Economy-wise, I've been getting ready for coffee by using companion gifts and trying to get all my companions to max affection, because we found out in the stream that your affection should carry over to coffee. We don't know exactly in what form, because they're changing it up to an influence system of some type that isn't quite the same as the affection system, but we do know all your work on your companions won't be wasted. And I kind of did a silly, and instead of remembering to talk to all my companions first and gain affection that way, I just started stuffing them silly with gifts. So now I actually have to go learn about them and talk to them and ask them how their feelings are. Maybe marry a couple.
But they have the affection even if they don't, like, the gifts give them the affection, right? So are they at max affection?
Yeah.
Like, do you have to do the quest to finish out the affection? Do you have to have the story?
No, but I could have gained some free affection and not had to pay money to get gifts if I just actually talked to them.
You can max them out with the gifts, but like if the easiest way to do it is you give them gifts up until they're a certain point, and then they'll get like the little mission thing over their head, and then you go have the conversation with them or flirt with them or whatever. And while you're flirting with them or talking to them or learning more about them, you get free affection points through those conversations too. As long as you answer it the right way, you get affection points doing that as well.
I will say, I did actually have a lot of fun with the affection on my trooper characters because I was a good little soldier. Every time I said something right, everybody get affection. I was like, this is fantastic. There was like 5 little bars, except for the one guy who's a real pain in the butt.
Tanovic, he's the best. He likes to blow stuff up.
He does, but he doesn't like the military way. So I'd have like 4 little bars come up and Tano would be like, -5.
Which is probably why I got along with him so well. I like to blow stuff up too.
He did a good job. But okay, that's okay.
And
Okay.
speaking of companions, I found a really good guide recently. So while I was looking at all these companions I was going to max their affection out on, I figured, well, I should probably be strategic on the characters that I have multiple of the same class. Like I have 3 consulars, but let's not talk about that.
I love the 3 consulars.
I figured for all the achievements and stuff like that, you only need to get max affection on one character. So I decided I'd take a look at, well, which ones have crew skills that correspond, because that would make the most sense to max out the companions that will help out with whatever crew skills are attached to that character. And there's a really, really good guide on torcommunity.com. It's on their menus, and you go into the crew skills section, and it's just right there. And it has a really beautiful +1, +2, +5 chart, and it's even highlighted the best you can get for each class and each companion, whether it's for speed or for critical on crew missions.
Did they say anything about the crafting at the live stream?
They are being very quiet about so many details about the expansion. They've said that they don't want to give spoilers about it, but they've done a very horrible job about talking about how current things will change, and crafting's a big one of them, because everyone's wondering, well, what should I do right now? Should I sell my mats? Should I start gathering more? And they've said, no, basically it will be changing, but that's about all they said. There's a lot of info through data mining, but that's obviously not official, and we don't even know if it's going to be the final decision.
Yeah. So, Scya, was there anything else in your land of gameplay this past week? Or past few weeks?
Apparently, other than raging about the lack of info about coffee, no.
All right. Well, then, Lari, how about you?
I have really, I don't know, I've been kind of in a lull here and there with SOTOR, which kind of, everybody goes through those, like, ebbs and whatever times where they, like, speed up and slow down, but I've been really busy with some things. But, so I've still been playing, though. I've just been, first of all, I've been leveling my agent like crazy, which I really, really like this storyline. I'm not going to do any spoilers because there might still be people out there that haven't done said storyline, so I'm not going to do any spoilers, but there are some things that just irritate me about this storyline and make me hate certain people in this storyline. And I've never hated NPCs so much in my life, but there are some NPCs where I'm just like, Urgh! I hope I get to shoot you in the face by the end of this.
Wait, Vyrigan, let's see how far she's gotten in the story.
What?
L'Ariel, omnomomnophobia.
That's the thing that makes me want to shoot people in the face.
That is awesome, and I'm glad for you, because it made me want to shoot people in the face, too.
That makes me want to shoot people in the face. They need to just... like, you have no idea. Like, I'm just like, okay, please tell me by the end of this storyline. And then there's the one guy that I thought was really, really cute, and you get to flirt with him, and he's really sweet. And then he gets into a situation, and then that word, the omnomomnophobia, comes up. And I'm like, you just lost all attractive points. You're gone now. I don't even want to sleep with you anymore. I just want to kill you. Like, I'm just
Scya,
like,
I can't believe you remember that word. I was trying in my
That's
head to
not the
remember
word.
it. It's something like that, though, right? It's something like that.
It's onomatopoeia.
There you
Onomatopoeia.
go. No, that's the words that sound like what they sound
No,
like.
but that's what the actual code word is onomatopoeia.
No, it's not.
Are you sure it's not? Because I'm
Onomatopoeia
pretty
is
sure
a word like
I'm pretty
like
sure that's the
snake.
I'm pretty
or-
sure
Oh, no,
that's the word
it's
they say
like-
though.
It's
barf.
it's onomatophobia.
There you go.
There we go.
Had to look it up. You were close.
I had
It was
some
a
horrible
phobia.
onomatopoeias.
It was
Sorry.
something like that. Anyways, it's a terrible word, and I hate it, and it needs to go away. And my other great achievement, well, besides that, I have also been helping Shirko power level from like 50 to 55 on his smuggler. So like, it's so funny because he likes to run, like, way far ahead of me. Like, I'm there to, like, protect him because he's been doing, like, 12 times or whatever, but he's still kind of behind what he needs to be. Like, as far as, like, he's still kind of under-geared, which, you know, happens a lot when you do the 12 times. And so, like, he's got me as, like, his little pocket level 60 to, like, be there and, like, kill mobs when they all gang up on him, right? Well, he's got this really, really bad habit of running way ahead of me, and then all at once I'll hear over TeamSpeak, Lari, save me! You're supposed to be here saving me! And I'm sitting here going, I'm killing the guys that you aggroed like 2 minutes ago that were chasing after you, that if I wouldn't kill them, they were going to kill you! And, like, it was so funny, because he's died, like, 3 or 4 times, and he'll be like, Lari, there's this button that's, like, mass mind control or something, and it will aggro everybody around you. And I'm like, but it doesn't aggro people that are, like, 50 meters ahead of me, so if you're that far, it doesn't really work. So
Sounds like you need one of those little kid leashes to keep him nearby.
I kind of feel like I do sometimes. Like, when I play with him, I feel like Sherko needs, like, a kid leash, because, like, he's so funny because he likes to go through things, like, super, super fast. So, like, I mean, I get that and everything, but you can't, like, have a level 60 with you, there to protect you, and then run through and aggro an entire, like, map full of things, and then expect the level 60 to be able to keep up with you without letting you die. Like, it just doesn't work that way. Like, we were on Corellia last night, and he went through all of Corellia and aggroed, like, 6 groups of mobs, including a champion, and is wondering why I'm having a hard time protecting him. And I'm like, okay, I can only do so much. Yes, I'm OP on Corellia being level 60, but... Huh?
You can only do so much.
I didn't even realize that until after. I'm like, what? Yes, I am Revan now. Well, my other great achievement for the last couple of weeks is I finally bought rocket boots. Like, I level with people, I work with people, and they all have rocket boots, and I will say expletive curse words when I see them take out their rocket boots and run far, far ahead of me in a place where you can't have a mount. And then finally yesterday I bought rocket boots, and I love it. But are they really only... Oh, sorry.
That's a good purchase, like it. You were mentioning earlier some of the other stuff that you paid for with cartel coins. What else have you bought since you've been playing Tor?
I have used my cartel coins to buy decorations for the house that Sherko and I built. So, like, a lot of that went towards, tomorrow, like, a lot of that went towards, like, you know, getting the decorations, and then, helping with, like, unlocking rooms, and then, you know, like, I've also bought, like, mounts and stuff like that, too, so, you know, I've made lots and lots of cartel coins purchases. I like the cartel market a little more than I should. And then, like, I would buy, like, random packs, and Sherko would be like, stop that! You don't get enough out of those! And I'm like, I know, but it's fun, because you don't know what you're getting, and it's like a surprise, and a surprise that you just bought for yourself, and you don't know what you're getting. And
it's like, a magical present.
And he's
That's
like,
what I like about him.
Yeah, I know, but he's like, but every time you open the package... He's like, you're always disappointed about something that's in there. He's like, I don't want to hear it anymore. And I'm like, but I want to keep buying the packages, because then I know. So, but yeah, I buy a lot of stuff with the cartel coins. So, are rocket boots really only supposed to last like 12 seconds though? Like, can you extend that or something? Because it always seems to
you can
be,
upgrade it.
Okay,
you can upgrade
yeah,
it, but what it does is it reduces the cooldown. It doesn't upgrade the amount to it. So it's about 12, 15 seconds.
okay,
12 seconds. But then you get the legacy achievement, and it brings down that cooldown. So the total cooldown's like 30 seconds. So, like, if you're on, like, a shadow, you do, like, speed, then you do rocket boots, and then... actually do rocket boots first, then you do the speed, and then in about 5 seconds you have rocket boots again. And you just keep doing that.
I always kind of wondered, because, like, it always seemed like people were using their rocket boots for a lot longer than 12 seconds when I was with them, but, I mean, I guess that just could be because
it's just
I was jealous of rocket boots.
Because you're watching them run away.
Yeah.
I'm watching them run away from me with rocket boots.
I think it's legacy level, like the first unlock's at like legacy level 20 or something. Yeah, I'm sure you probably have that by now.
Have you bought anything from the cartel market recently, Bear?
You know what? Well, I didn't buy a thing. So remember we were talking about Togruta, and I mentioned the fact that I was really, like, upset with my Twi'lek because I realized his brains were in his Leku, and it seemed like a very bad idea. So when my last cartel coin allotment came for subscribing, I went ahead and bit the bullet, went to my appearance designer in my stronghold and turned him into a Mary Allen. I always get the Mary Allen and Mariluka backwards. The green people with the tattoos.
So not the people with no eyeballs.
No, that's my sage. No, I turned him into a Mary Allen. So now my Twi'lek with a cool Twi'lek name is Mary Allen.
Hey, you can just have a complicated backstory. He was adopted by Twi'leks, but then he found out they had brains in their Leku and he ran away.
And it's funny, I did not see this for humans, but one of the hairstyles, because once you do a race change, everything's free. If you don't have unlocked it, every other change is considered a free change. So you can just do everything. You can change body type, whatever, doesn't matter. So I found a hairstyle with the little rat tail that the Padawans have, and I've never seen it on other races. I'm like, I would have used this on my human if I had seen it.
I think that's one of the extended ones that they gave for Mary Allen's that they didn't give for humans. Like, you know how they had that pack that came out with like Mary Allen tattoo customizations? I think that might have come in like that pack, but it was not like available for humans because I don't think I've seen it on humans either. And that's the other thing that I spend all my cartel coins on is I'm always changing my characters. Oh my god, I change my characters every other day. I'll be like, I think she should have red hair now. No, I think she should have white hair. No, I think she should have purple hair. No, I think she should be a Korean pop princess that runs around in war zones and kills people.
That's kind of, I'm terribly shallow. If I'm not spending my coins on my cartel coins on the stinking appearance designer, I'm using my credits on the outfit designer.
That's where my credits go to outfits. The outfit designer, but buying things on the GTN to wear.
Yeah, exactly. I open a few slots and I buy more things on GTN to wear because it's like I got a cool outfit for my Sage. And the last time I logged in, I was like, this ain't working. I need something else. So now I'm looking for another outfit. And that'll be like one of his outfits of choice. But it's like, that's not the one I want to have all the time. I want to have something a little more robust. So beyond that, I recently upgraded Windows 10 from Windows 8.1, thinking, Windows 10 is so close to 8.1, it's not going to be a big deal. It's a wonderfully horrible thing I have done.
What have you done, Vyrigan?
I upgraded Windows 10. So much of this system is now outside of my control. And I'm a geek. Like, I play with my computer. I started playing a game called Ark, Survival Evolved. And it is on Steam. It's a high-end, high-power, alpha-level game. It's in alpha right now, so it's buggy as all get out, and it's extremely graphic intensive. I play it on a laptop with an integrated graphics card. Why? Because I have complete control of my computer, and I force it. I do all sorts of crap to optimize my computer. Windows 10 takes away so many of the tools I use to make things work better. So, like, even SWTOR was starting to have hiccups, like these random issues. And then Overwolf stopped working right for some reason. And so I used Overwolf for my TeamSpeak overlay. And I pulled up TeamSpeak, I pulled up Overwolf, I was typing something, and all the windows on my SWTOR started opening up on their own because the keyboard thought I was talking to SWTOR still. I was like, that's it. I stopped using Overwolf. I've just pared down all my stuff. So Windows 10 is great, except it updates all the time, and it's annoying in a lot of ways. So, but part of today's episode and part of our collected gossip is kind of my idea because it's based on the fact that along the way, while I was playing Star Wars, I finally achieved Galactic Champion, which is getting all of your 8 base classes, 4 Republic, 4 Imperial, to level 50. Woohoo!
I'm almost there.
That's a nice one.
Hopefully the next episode I'll be able to make the same announcement.
Yay! And then, of course, there's a Galactic Mastery, which is level 55, and then Galactic Legend, which is level 60 for all 8 base classes. So I'm working on that now, but I'm not super worried about getting everyone up to 60. I can, but it's not a huge deal, because now that 55, they pretty much stop the double experience. I don't care, or the 12 times experience. So right now I'm working on the new Vyrigan. I remember when I went to the different server, I made a different Vyrigan, a Sage, because my old Vyrigan is my shadow. So I'm working on him, and part of it's because I'm really not worried about the M4 dailies, because we learned through the live stream that companion gear doesn't really matter anymore.
Oh, I've seen so many people griping about that. Like, I did all this work to gear up my companions.
Oh,
I'm like, yeah, that's pretty fair.
It works for me. I don't worry about it, because it's like, that means all the new guys, I don't have to worry about treat gear. And pretty much it's just, in my head, it's treat gear. That's what I've been using since I got through a few of them. And I really haven't worried about getting money for the Yavin 4 Stronghold, because I was like, when am I going to decorate Yavin 4? I have not even finished redecorating Nar Shaddaa. And that's a compact house. And that's my central house where all my crap is. Like, that is where my don't go, never leave the fleet room is. It's right there. And I haven't even finished decorating that. It's getting better. And I'm like, there's no sense in opening up the Avon 4. My Coruscant and my Demercas are completely empty. I haven't decorated a thing. I just unlocked them. So I'm not worried about the Avon 4 too deeply. I'm gonna work on trying to get the Vyrigan up and do a few things. I do want to try and get these McKeb achievements done. I want to try and get some of these Datacrons done, Datacron runs, just to see what happens. They were very kind of about the whole mastery. What was it called? Mastery?
Legacy Datacrons? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like going out and getting like the strength and the presence.
Oh, the new type of attribute. Yeah. So if you guys haven't heard about that yet, instead of having aim or willpower, strength, or cunning, we'll just only have mastery now. It'll be about exactly the same. It will just all be called one skill. But Vyrigan's saying, since let's say he's a sage before and he needed willpower, now he can go pick up the aim ones and it will actually help him if they get converted to mastery. But we don't really know exactly how that's working with Datacrons. But we do know Datacrons are hopefully going to be turning into legacy Datacrons.
Yes. Oh, that's the other thing.
That would be lovely.
That's the nice thing is once you find it for everybody. Legacy Datacrons is going to be huge. But it's just a nice thing to have.
Now, here's the question with that, though. Are they going to convert, like, if, say you've already found, like, a bunch of Datacrons, are they going to convert that and make that legacy? Or are you going to have
Don't
to,
know.
like...
Don't know.
I would hope yes.
I would guess yes. But
there's no such thing
nobody
as
knows.
assurances if they haven't said yes.
It's BioWare. No,
yes. And one of the nice things actually is those tables, the Datacron tables, decorations. Once you get all the Republic Datacrons, or you get all the light side Datacrons, you get all the dark side Datacrons, you get those tables.
Yeah, the information is already stored in your legacy table somewhere. Just whether they can tap that and give everyone the Datacrons is a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
So, the other thing, I almost forgot, with the 8 base classes, of course, every base class of 50, you get those little symbols for your house.
Yeah.
That you have at the at the fleet. So now I have
50 at each of those now, huh?
Yeah, I used 8 total. I did 2 or 3 sets because the Nar Shaddaa house I split in half. I made half Imperial, half Republic. So the Republic staircase has the 4 Republic symbols, and the Imperial staircase has the 4 Imperial symbols. It's really cool. I like it. It's not even done yet, but still, I'm very excited about that. I just am. So. With that, let's get down to the guild business and the news of the guild. It is summer, so I played. I got I don't know, probably about 7 or 8 hours in the last couple of weeks of SWTOR, just because it's been the lull. So it's kind of like once I got that trooper up to the 50 and then it ended up being 54 by the time I was done. I was like, this is good for now. I kind of stepped away. I've been playing other games, Marvel Heroes, Ark, Guild Wars 2, which is doing its thing too. What about you, ladies? How's the summer been treating y'all?
Summer's been actually really good for me. I've been having to mark on our operations spreadsheet where we do our scheduling. Don't schedule me for Saturdays because I'll likely be out and about. Because you see in Canada, the summer, there's all kinds of things. There's festivals, there's parties, you can go walking outside without crying. And then end of September, winter rolls around and nobody wants to leave their house anymore. There's nothing again.
So you want to enjoy the sun while it lasts?
Correct.
Before the sun goes away. Leaves Canada cold, dark, and lonely.
It's kind of the same in Wisconsin, like I said during my little blurb, I've been kind of in a lull as far as the way summer works because I have been actually spending every other weekend an hour and a half away from where I live. And, kind of enjoying the summer doing camping and stuff like that. And I am also currently in a singing competition. So that has been taking a lot of time because I have had to be practicing doing that and stuff. So summer's been treating me pretty good. My little man started school yesterday for the first day ever, and I can't take it.
Woohoo! Give it a few more years so you moved out of the house.
1, 2, a couple, yeah.
A couple. Give it about 13.
Oh my gosh. No. So he had pre-K before, right? And like that's not really school. It's still more like just daycare kind of a thing. So it didn't hit me as hard as like yesterday did. But like they did like a pre-K graduation, and he gets done with pre-K graduation, and he's 5, and he walks up to me and he goes, "Mommy, I graduated from school. Does that mean I can move out and get a job now?" And I was like, "Yes, go for it. Let's see how that works." Like,
hey, at least you have to worry about him finding a job. He wants to find a job.
yeah. So I've been pretty consumed with, you know, getting my little man be my little man while I can still have him as my little man, and you know, the new boyfriend and all that. So I've been busy. Been busy.
And for me in Florida, summer is a different experience altogether. The sun moves down here and decides to sit on our head and says, "Hi." It's like that neighbor that comes in your house and steals all your food and puts their feet up on the sofa, with their shoes on and puts dirt in your cushions. and then you're like, "Okay, I think I'm done with you now." And they're like, "Nope, I'm not done with you though. I'm going to stay here for another week." It is so miserable and so hot. We don't want to go outside. We want to stay inside.
Just makes you want to play Sator, right?
Makes you want to, well,
go to Hoth.
Wants to play again. Hoth looks appealing for once ever. Actually, Belsavis is more appealing because there's actually happy places in there besides just the snow. It's been hot. I spent a lot of time just dying in the heat, walking around. We actually had an event where we were outside for 10 hours with about 1,500 people, and it was something we were putting on. And, oh my gosh, we were like, I think I drank probably a dozen bottles of water, 3 bottles of Gatorade, and I was still dehydrated. I was like, oh my gosh. So it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'll be happy when fall comes. So beyond that, we have our recruitment is still a very hefty business, even in the middle of summer. We currently have 14 trial members in Star Wars: Old Republic, which is tremendous for a summer recruitment drive. I don't even know how they're getting that stuff done. I mean,
I don't know. It's magic, our recruitment people. And the funny part is, when we first moved the server, we put out all our info and we're like, put it on forums, make posts about it, make sure it stays updated, make sure we post all our info. And then after that, we got so many apps, we just kind of stopped for a bit, and we're still getting so many people joining us. It's kind of crazy.
Well, now it's come by word of mouth because people are like coming from other guilds and like, "Hey, come over here. I found this guild." So, it's been insane. I do want to say something about the live stream, and it's just part of my head. So, I feel like the community team has an interesting position in Star Wars: Old Republic. There was a big thing about data mining, and data mining, let's be absolutely clear, is against the terms of service of Star Wars: Old Republic. Let's just be absolutely clear on this.
Don't do it.
Data mining,
I mean, what?
Data mining in its core is 100% against the terms of service of Star Wars: Old Republic. That being said, I swear they want you to do it.
They say we aren't against it, but we can't be for it, is what they said at an interview a while ago.
Yes. Now, the thing is, it's free advertising. The downside of it is completely in flux. When you're doing data mined, it's stuff that was put in a patch. It might change the next patch. It's like pre-stuff. So, they were cracking down about the fact that was on the forums, and you can't put on the forums. That's just life. It's their game. But it's almost like the community team has kind of gotten to the point where they're not concerned about sharing a lot, because when they see data miners and stuff putting out, they don't feel like they don't have to. I'll give you a prime example. I'll give you a prime example. The conquest system. Who told us what the next plan is in the rotation?
Dolby, or rather, Sator Minor.
Exactly.
Through Dolby.
So they said nothing about the next planet in rotation. The idea from their point of view was that it would just be a surprise, and you would just go out and have to figure out if you wanted one of the planets that was up for the current rotation. No, their plan was for the data miners to find the list, give it to Dolphy, and then go ahead and just let them handle it. I
don't think that was their original plan. I think their original plan was just to make it a surprise every week, but then everybody hated that idea.
But they never did anything to fix it. They just, they already got it done, so we'll make it happen. And so with the live stream, they had an hour-long live stream planned, right? That's what I said at the beginning. They had an hour-long live stream. They were down for 15-20 minutes. They ended right on time. Thank you, Mr. Musco, for helping us with the technical difficulties, so we didn't have to run a full hour.
Are you saying this was all planned?
I'm saying that
Vyrigan,
I am
conspiracy
suspicious.
theorist.
I am suspicious that every live stream has a 15-minute issue to help reduce the content that's required to go out for an hour-long live stream. Because I was thinking to myself,
Weren't we supposed to watch the cutscenes and stuff, and we never got to see them though?
We only saw that one part, and they spacebar through the second time, and that was it. I was like, okay. And then, of course, the secret companion, the secret person.
Who could it possibly be?
Who could possibly be? Oh, I remember this guy from Revan when I first met him on the Republic side.
So surprising after we get Lana and possibly Theron.
Yeah, it's like,
I like all the questions he answered after on the forum. He gave a lot of clarification in the dev tracker about a lot of companion stuff that made me really happy, though.
True. Especially about with the influence and the poop.
Like, will we need gear? No.
No.
Awesome. Thanks for saying yes, no.
So, no. The other thing that came up is, and it actually had it came out, is that today? That is today. From the devs. From Eric Musco. I know there's some questions about when we're going to have some new Fallen Empire information. I just want to take a moment and say that that's a funny statement. If these people would follow the same information flow that Star Wars Episode 7 The Force Awakens is following, we'd be fine.
They're doing a great job teasing that. They've got their business on lock, and I would give their marketing team a big kissy and like an award.
BioWare. I don't know if you listen to the show anymore, but if you ever listen to the show, Star Wars Episode 7 The Force Awakens knows how to take your taste buds.
It's not the same thing, because all they have to do to make us hyped about Episode 7 is show us as like a 10-second clip of something, but we don't care. We don't want to know about the details. We don't want to know what the main character's backstory is. We don't want to know if we can use our companions in the movie theater. We want to know all the technical things, and for number 7, a lot of the appeal about it is that we don't know yet, and we won't know till we step in that theater unless we accidentally get a bunch of spoilers beforehand, and that will actually kind of ruin it.
But to be fair, that's not the entirety of their marketing. Their marketing has been completely what SWTOR should be. It's been about the mechanics. They brought out a droid that looks like a soccer ball with his head attached, and it really works. They have interview after interview after interview about what was your experience with this? You know, how did it feel to do this? What was your interaction with these old players? What was your interaction with the new players? It was all the dynamics and the technical. That's what a lot of their marketing has been, is what's it like as a person stepping into Star Wars, not what's the story about. And that is really what BioWare should be really touching on is, okay, so there's some things that are going to change besides the story. Let's tell you about some of these changes. And so this is what's coming up actually right now. So the plan right now is this week, over the next 4 weeks, we'll be releasing We'll be releasing 3 class-related blogs each week. One blog will cover the class changes which the mirrors are receiving. The other 2 blogs will be a full recap of those classes' stories. What?
I'm disappointed about that on 2 completely different levels, because one, I might be on the minority on this one, but I really don't care about my class abilities. It's not like I can learn my rotation before coffee comes out. It's not like I'll even get my full rotation until 5 levels later. And like this round, I got a really cool new ability, and it was awesome to pick it up and be a surprise about it. I didn't feel like I needed or wanted to know about it beforehand. And as far as learning about past stories, that's not answering all my questions about companions and crafting and how I should prep for it.
Well, and I like class changes for those who like class changes, because I'm always interested in seeing what they're going to do. But the rest of that should not, frankly, they're spoiling the story. So they have pretty much given, and this again goes back to the thing of, they've given up the fact that SWTOR is the game. The game is now SWTOR 2, Knights of the Fallen Empire. And it really is. You can start at 60. You have a whole different type of story. They do not care to spoil the old stories anymore. It doesn't matter. SWTOR, as it stands now, is not their priority. Keep that in mind, folks. We talk about the MMO bits. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. So, I'd love to see, you're right, Scya. I'd love to see some more of the mechanics stuff. And the class changes are a mechanics thing, which I think is a good thing. But it would be nice if it was like, hey, So are all the companions and what they are good at going to help with crafting? Or are they going to be more, since they can change from healing to
I
tank?
think he answered that one.
They didn't answer it clearly.
Crafting, they won't have bonuses anymore.
Yeah, so then why are we worrying about crafting bonuses?
I don't know why I was. I'm silly.
There was something about that. It's weird. When I see something like this, it cements in my mind even more the idea that SWTOR, as it stands, is not their priority anymore. This is a different game. It's the SWTOR engine. It's part of SWTOR, but you might as well be talking about night and day when you talk about SWTOR and Knights of the Fallen Empire.
So you're talking specifically about their switch away from the MMO bits more towards the story bits, and you're comparing them as two different games, right?
Pretty much. I mean, they pretty much have just, when they're going to recap the entire story, the secret of the game, that even players do not spoil each other's story without a spoiler tag. Now, the 2-year-old game, we don't do it. You don't tell the story without putting a spoiler
to be fair,
tag.
I actually kind of have been wishing that they had the class stories up somewhere. I have a feeling it's less meant to be a spoiler and more of a refresher, because many of us did our first class story 3 years ago, and I know I barely remember my smuggler story, my trooper story. I remember the really emotional bits, but I don't remember, like, what was I doing on Hoth? I don't know, getting a bug person, I think. I think it might be a really good refresher, because people have been asking, can we rewatch our class stories forever? But that's not exactly something they can implement, and this is probably the next best thing. Or for people who want to pick up that free level 60, I have a feeling when you pick it up for the first time, if you get a free level 60, you get one when coffee comes out. You start off after all the class story. You don't get to play that part. You just wake up and you're like, oh god, who am I? And they're like, you're the super awesome Jedi Consular who saved everybody, yay. But this might be a good way for someone who does that route to catch up. I have a feeling they'll actually tell you about it in the cutscenes themselves, but not in a really long form.
Oh, we'll see. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's kind of neat from an RP perspective, though. Like, say you get your free level 60 and you wake up in the new setting and you're like, who the heck am I? And they're like, you're this, this, and this, and this. And then you could take that and roleplay as your character had amnesia and doesn't remember anything before waking up in the frozenness.
It's gonna be so many people with amnesia. So many masterpieces amnesia caused by cryo poisoning. We were able to see, but we couldn't remember our memories.
Everyone's got amnesia.
Amnesia.
Amnesia. So, and looking at this new game, just looking.
SWTOR 2! Just saying.
It is a completely different turn away from Star Wars: Old Republic. So, and I feel bad for people who really love the MMO bits. I really do, because it feels like that's not going to be a priority for a while. But
yeah, I'm really sad about that. I'm super sad about that. So
I like the story, to be fair. So I'm just hoping that there's going to be a good amount. I'm hoping that these 9 chapters is going to be a good amount of content, because I don't know who I want. I don't know how many times I want to repeat it. And this brings us actually to our topic of the day, because I do wonder who am I going to take into it. So the story, we had a video a while back. They're using the Jedi Knight because that is the story of Star Wars: Old Republic, and they said, I've had many titles over my term, but there's only one title that matters now: Outlander. Okay, fine. So, so with that. It comes to an important question. I now have all 8 classes at level 50, or at least, and some are in the 55 and some are already 60. And I know you ladies as well have a lot of different types of classes, and you play different lot of styles. So the question now is, who is going to be your Outlander? So let's look at this a couple different ways. We're not going to do anything spoiler-wise, so don't worry about any kind of stories, because we still don't do spoilers. But let's look at the classes themselves. So Lari, let's start with you. What is your favorite class to play as far as the gameplay mechanics?
Gameplay mechanics. My favorite class, honestly, is the Counselor / Inquisitor, which honestly, out of the 2, I prefer my Inquisitor, but I started maining on my Counselor just because, with the disbanding kind of a part of thing of the Imperial side and stuff like that. But I really, really like my Counselor.
Which side do you play, the shadow or the sage?
She's a shadow.
Ah.
She's a shadow.
Sneaky.
Yep, so I had a shadow on pub side, and then she was an imp on, or I was a sin on imp side. Wow, I lost track of my thought for a minute there. But yeah, so I'm shadow, and I really like it. I like the stealthiness. I like being able to do that. It's probably my favorite. I think as far as like storyline goes, my favorite so far is the agent, but like as far as like gameplay mechanics go and how you can, play the character, I really, really like my counselor. I like my shadow. She's my favorite. And as far as roleplay storylines, my shadow is definitely my favorite. So
she actually has a good roleplay as well.
She does. She has a very, very rich background, which has been, it's been kind of, and Scya has seen some of this, because Scya has been part of some of the role plays for it too. She has been a very, from when I was an RP assistant, she ended up being kind of an integral part in several of the RPs that we did, and so she has a very, very rich background, a very well written out storyline, a very, she has a very, very intense, like I could write a book about her because she has so much fleshed out with her, and like she's my most fleshed out, most figured out character. Like she's like an actual person to me with how much I have for her.
You even have her going down multiple generations, don't you?
I do, yes. She has a child. Actually, she has 2 children. She has one child with a Jedi, and then she has another child with Coda, who is also a very big trooper. She also has nieces and nephews. She has a sister involved. Pretty much all of my characters are connected to her in some way. I have a story for her mother, so I mean, like, I have a lot thought out for her. So that's my thing. Roleplay is my thing, and that's what I write, and that's what I do. So she's definitely going to be my Outlander, and who I, take into the storyline and figure out what I want to do with her there.
Nice. Now, you say you're playing the agent. Are you doing the operative, or are you doing a sniper?
I'm doing an operative.
Did you pick it because of the shadow sneakiness? You like the sneakiness for the operative as well?
I did. Yes, I did.
Sneaky.
I did. I like being sneaky. Yes, I did.
It's funny because my first was a shadow, and I decided to do an operative because I like the sneaky. I like being able to, and this is back in the day of the PvP server. I like to get away from that kind of, hey, there's someone coming to get me. Whoom, I'm gone. Bye. And run. Scya, what kind of classes do you prefer as far as gameplay style?
I'm really lucky because I managed to choose my favorite class from the get-go. I chose to be a tank, and the class that I chose was the Vanguard Trooper, and the equivalent of that is, I think the mercenary?
The
bounty hunter?
The Power Tech.
Power Tech, right, the one with a tank spec. And I really like that class specifically because it has a lot of mobility, and in terms of all 3 of the tank classes, it has the least amount of things where you have to stand still and hit things, and you also get a little bit of extra range. And especially with the most recent ability changes, they've gotten a lot of fun things like a group shield and a super fast zoom you can use often. So kinds of fun things. So I got really lucky, and that's the one I'll likely be bringing in as my Outlander just for the class alone. And I also really like the not sneaky counselor, the Sage. On both sides of the fence, both an Inquisitor and a Sage, they're just really fun. I like how much range they have and how many different types of force abilities they have.
Nice. And they do have a lot of utility. I'm finding that even when I'm leveling my little Sage, I'm so impressed with you have so many get out of jail free cards with the Sage that I did not have as a Shadow. Even though you get a lot of good things with the Shadow. I was really surprised. So.
Magic bubble, super bubble.
Magic bubble, super bubble. I love the bubbles. Bubble power.
You get some free heals for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can heal other people even if you're not in heal spec. I've got a cat biting me.
You got a cat and you got a cat biting you.
That's not on my abilities bar for my Sage.
It's not the abilities bar. Yep, that's real life. That's what you get for going outside. You become attractive to animals. And my dynamics, I do. I'm a little. I'm playstyle wise. There are so many classes that I keep going back to over and over again. And there's so many that it's like I did 60 and I left him alone. My power tech, I actually like the power tech, but I tried tanking with him and it really is not the flow I like. It's just really weird for me.
Do you even like tanking? You hate tanking. You're a DPS.
I really am not a fan of tanking. I thought I could be good at it. And I can, but I'm so used to not taking the lead because I don't want to get a lot of threat that I'm just not a good tank. But I'm not really good DPS either, so it doesn't really hurt. I'm moderate. It's funny. We had a discussion on the forums about the mice, the thumb mice. And I had that Red Dragon Perdition with the 12 buttons on the side, and I gave an example of my layout for my thumbs, and I have everything on the thumb. I have nothing on the keyboard anymore. It's all on the thumb, and so I'm ineffective in some ways because I have no way to activate an ability off the global cooldown. It's like I only have so much time with my thumb. So it was brought to my attention. I don't care.
I'm going to play the way I want to. I'm not going to parse.
I don't parse. I don't do hard modes. I'm a story mode guy. I'm fine. But when we look at playing characters, my knight, I really like that Guardian Knight with that DPS spec. He's got his proc, and the reason I like him is not because of anything spectacular. He's that procking. He proc. It's like I'm so good at maintaining focus, and he just constantly, it's like a dance. It naturally goes one to the next to the next. The Guardian was one of the few classes I didn't really need to look at a guide to figure out how it worked. I was looking for what would line up next, and it was like,
Sparkles.
It's magic. Thank you for procs. The Shadow, it was my number one. He was the old Vyrigan, and he's still a great character to play. He's got so much history because he was the one who did all the achievements. He has mounts and things that no one else has because he's done all the stuff. He's done more operations. He's done more quests. The new Vyrigan is just, I like his look. I like his style. He's that sage. He's got so many jail free cards. Like I said, I like the way that works. And then of course my agent Kamek, Killer Cam.
Killer Cam!
And the only.
I love Killer Cam.
Who is going to survive his encounter with Raku, which I did not know you got bit as well, by the way, in the RP.
Yes,
I never saw it happen.
Yes, sir. It happened at the beginning. Well, after we split up and like we got attacked by a huge group of Rakuls, and Lari kind of went a little bit of a cray-cray. And she was like flaying them alive with the force and stuff like that. One of them got a hold of her and bit her in the leg.
I did not
and
see that.
she was also giving into force madness because we all know she's cray-cray.
She's cray. So, but Kamek is going to survive. He's got the skill and the styles, and he did get vaccinated before the run. So he's about to go out in a blaze of glory and be awesome, like the true.
So Vyrigan, Lari has this one character that she loves on both sides, but it's mirror class. You have a whole bunch of different characters that you like. How is one of them going to be your main character? Or are you just going to happily make them all the Outlander when it comes out?
I'm still not sure. I don't know. I want to use Vyrigan. It's my namesake, so I feel like I made him specifically for this. And yet, who is now Nicholas? He was there for so much. I really have a connection to this, and he has the most fantastic bouffant I've ever seen. He has the bouffant and beard. How do you say no to that?
Could you describe what a bouffant looks like for our listeners who do not know?
I'm sorry. If you have ever wondered how Elvis had such an amazing coif on his head, look no further. Nicholas has it too. Is that high hair with the curl in the front, like the old 50s crooners used to do? Elvis was one of them at the time. It was one of the unlockable hairstyles, and just on a whim, I unlocked it for another use of cartel coins, of course. And it was just fantastic. But I found that the Oriental-looking straight beard goes really well with it. So it looks epic. And then, now that I've got my knight to a race that I really like playing him again. I really like him.
That was really your hang-up? Was really the head and tail brain?
Yes! I don't want my brains in my
head. The tail brain.
I don't want my brain sticking out of my head. I just don't. It's funny. Did I mention I'm not speciesist? I'm just shallow. I may have mentioned that before.
I think we talked about that with the Tigruta. I think we discussed that with the Tigruta, how you were...
We did.
You're,
I'm just reminding
you're
everybody.
shallow.
And then Killer Cam. He is the most bad behind chiss I've ever had. His RP is what makes him powerful because he is such a neutral person. He just is realistic. The Jedi, unfortunately, I have a terrible tendency with Jedi to make them all light. All light. They always do the honorable thing. I can't help it. It's the way I feel.
Vyrigan's the good guy.
It's the way I feel the Jedi should be. But Kamek could do the stuff that was really bad with a clear-ish conscience because he's very objective. Even in his RP, he's very much cut and dry. Business is business. I like Kamek for that. So
what you're saying is, if I need someone's house eggs, I don't ask Vyrigan, I ask Killer Cam.
yeah, exactly.
Killer Cam is fantastic. Actually, when Lari was straight up dark side and slated to be somebody of great power on the Imperial side, she had a huge RP crush on Killer Cam because Killer Cam was fairly awesome.
I did not know.
Yeah,
You missed your chance, Vyrigan. Could have had some, you know what they say about cray girls.
Cam likes Khaleo, so he'd handle that. He'd roll with that.
She had a fairly big, like, if you notice during any RPs that they're in together, she gets very, very excited when she finds out that Killer Cam is part of the mix-up, like with the Ratghoul RP that we just did. When she saw Cam, she was like, "Kamek, you're here!" And like, yeah,
Write that down for later.
with her husband standing right next to her. Kamek, it's you.
Note to self: next RP, hit on the crazy one.
Oh my gosh.
Note. So,
moving on.
You know what? I just came up with the thing for the other episode.
Moving on. Oh god. Oh god.
I will try to pull it off
I'm not sure.
without having to read.
Moving on.
Moving on. So,
what's your favorite race? Like, do you have a preferred race?
human.
Not Twi'lek.
Not Twi'lek.
Not Twi'lek.
Honestly, because I do like to put myself in the position, human. Human is the preferred, or human-esque. Like my Mary Allen, or my Chiss, or my... Actually, I think everyone I have is human, except for the one who isn't even my gender, which would be my Tortilla.
I'm finding the ones that are most humanoid are the ones that I end up connecting with the most. Like I made a Togruta when they came out, and I made a really beautiful one, and I got her a beautiful name, and I got her an expensive, beautiful outfit, and she looked so good, but then I just didn't have feelings when I played her.
You can't connect.
Probably because she didn't look humanoid.
This is the RP side of me coming out. My favorite race isn't even in the game.
What do you like, Lari?
But I made it possible in the game. So my favorite race is what Lariel actually is, which is Echani.
Yeah!
So, if you did not know, you can actually make an Echani in the game using
White
a human.
hair.
All you have to do is the white hair and
White
silver or blue eyes. Yeah. So like they tend to have like their eyes is the only variation in their looks. Otherwise they look exactly the same. Echani have the exact same facial features, they have the exact same whatever. And that's why with Lari being half Echani, half human, she still has, like some of her own features, but that's just because, she's half human. Whereas if she was full Echani, she would look like all of them.
Her hair is white, so it's really easy to dye. She doesn't have to bleach it ever.
Right. Yeah. No, her hair is pure white, and her eyes, I go back and forth between having the, like, silver glowy eyes, which are awesome, and the, really, really crystal bright blue eyes. So, my favorite race is definitely the Echani, which is what I have made Lari into.
Nice. And see, you're not the first person I've heard say something like that, and that's a brilliant idea. Honestly.
Do you remember Silver? And he had the same idea. He wanted to do Echani, but he couldn't either. So he did the white hair thing, the white eyes. And he also took it a bit further and embraced their culture. Like, Lariel is Sith. She doesn't really practice as an Echani, but Echani are known... I don't know if I'm saying it right. Is it Echani or Ekani?
It's Echani. And actually, she does embrace it, honestly. She's not exactly Sith and she's not exactly Jedi, but she does embrace a lot of their culture where the way they fight, honestly, the fighting That's how they develop relationships with people. That's how they express their emotions. It's through the fighting. But the thing is being a Chani, they actually don't fight with a lot of weapons or with a lot of gear. They actually fight in the nude. And it's more of an art form for them. It's more of a communication form for them rather than who comes out on top, who comes out on bottom. And actually, Nilla and I did a role play with that where Lari and Nilla, that's how they basically became sisters to each other, is through the fact of they both had like a really, and that's probably my worst role play ever, was the one where Colt shot Lari. But anyways, they had like a really, really heated moment and they decided to spar each other, and Nilla, having knowledge of the Achani culture, stripped down, and they did the fight that way, and that was how they expressed themselves to each other and got to know each other and got to a point of where they were so close to each other that now they're virtually inseparable. Because of they did it through the Achani culture way, which is to fight that way.
Naked.
Naked fighting.
To fight naked. It's like Greek style fighting. The old Olympics. Except back in those days it was it was a competitive fight to see who was better, but it was not like to kill anybody. It was just the Olympics. Yeah, even back then.
Unless she's in Cray Cray Lari mode.
If she's in Cray Cray Lari mode, it's different. Lari is a very split personality.
She's going to rip your trachea out through your back. Anyway.
But she's also two different people now, too, so it's kind of...
Thanks for the visual.
There you go. So we hope that you take this opportunity to think about who's going to be your Outlander, regardless of the opinions of the information BioWare is putting out or whatever is being done with the game as a whole. This is an exciting new turn for Star Wars: The Old Republic, and I am excited to try this piece, to play this story, to be the Outlander. And keep in mind that if you are subscribed by September 30th, you get the sweet Nico Okar Duster as part of your reward for being subscribed through the month of September. So keep that in mind. If you have not subscribed and you're kind of feeling like I want to give it a shot and you want to do a little gameplay with the old style and get some of these achievements, now's a perfect time to do that. So with that, normally we would have a Chronicles of the Coruscant Courier service for this episode, as we didn't have one last time, but Coda has returned to school, our man, the myth, the legend. He is busy as all can be, so there's going to be a slight delay. We will get that next episode out to you as soon as we possibly can. It has been recorded. It just needs to be finalized, and real life always comes first. It is the way of the world, and that's why we are the way we are. We have so many different people who are willing to jump in and play with us and record podcasts with us, because you never know. One of us might not be able to make it for whatever reason. So with that, that's going to be it for this episode number 14. If you'd like to join us on the Ebon Hawk server, look for our Republic Guild Remnants of Hope. You can find guild information at remnantsofhope.com and follow the guild on Twitter at ROHSWOTOR, where you'll often see like this podcast and cool videos from Airvale and other little things we're trying to work on as time progresses. But mainly, we do have some awesome videos as well coming out there as well. This and episodes of our podcast can be found at hopecastgamers.com. You can email the show at swotorhopecast@gmail.com, and we would love to hear from you. And you can subscribe to us on iTunes. Feel free to leave a comment and maybe a star or two. That would be fantastic. And with that, I'm Vyrigan.
I'm Scya.
And I'm Lari.
And until next time, may the Force serve you well. And remember, my agent, Kamek, has had many titles. From agent to cipher to Sith intelligence official, but none is more impressive than Conquester of Lari. Bye, everybody.
Oh, baby. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
You have been listening to the Star Wars Hopecast, part of the Remnants of Hope game community.